Hello, it's Lisa from Lady Norway Energy Healing coming at you from her healing space with some glare. She's got new lights and she's got new microphone and she's got some glare, but she's working it out and I'm just going to go with it. It's not going to be perfect. I've got some glare, I've got some shadows. I'll work it out. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to work it out. So new moon in Capricorn was yesterday, the July. What is happening? I've been saying July a lot too. And we are now into 2024. And we had a new moon in Capricorn, which is, pretty kind of a big thing for putting some things in motion that you want for the next little while in your life, being that Capricorn is the sign of kind of like long haul, commitment based, hard work. That's kind of some of the stuff that Capricorn represents, and being that it's a new moon in the new year of 2024, where it is going to be a big sort of shift in energy based on the fact that Pluto will be leaving its sign that it's been in for a long time there, Capricorn. It's at 29 degrees. It'll be going into Aquarius on the 2021. So technically 10 days from now, there's going to be a real shift, I think, in energy. But I mean, I don't know if it'll necessarily happen like if you snap your fingers, but definitely there's going to be some stuff in the works. There's going to be like, I had a little bit of I've explained that before. Last spring when it went into Aquarius for a little while, I had some pretty cool things happen, and just like I said, a different energy. And so now I'm kind of like recognizing that things aren't perfect. They never will be, even though it's like conditioned in me that things have to be perfect before I can, do them or put them out there or whatever. So I have that with my art. I have that with my business. I have this with this YouTube channel. Just pretty much everything, I kind of go to this place of like perfection. And I know that it's not the case. Like I know that it's just not, but it's in there. So it's a tough one to break, but I can do it. The more I try and the more I push myself, the more I put myself into places that I'm not comfortable. Get through it, get over it, move on, move forward, get better, do better. It's that is kind of how I've been doing things, kind of goal oriented things. And I kind of need like a goal, and I can sort of strive towards it, have put action towards it. I've recognized this about myself. I've got to have goals. So had another little thing where I kind of let some stuff go coming up into this new year. I had this little silent meditation that I did for myself. A lot of stuff came up there for me. Definitely feel that the things, coming up with that stuff, that the shadow side of the things that aren't necessarily comfortable to look at about yourself, and where you kind of hide yourself from people and in relationships, and et cetera, like these things that you just don't want to really see about yourself. Coming to terms with certain things, it's a process, but it's a good process, and it starts to really kind of release you from these self-limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. So, that's good for that's good for some of the stuff that I'm doing. So I redid some of my website. I kind of struggle with a little bit of the tech side of things, and I probably should ask for help, but I will I'll get I've kind of done a little bit of it myself, but I've come up with a couple new offerings, and that's kind of exciting. And a lot of that came out of the silent retreat that I did for myself. So change some stuff up, and all that jazz. So that's good. And then there's more coming. There's more coming, and this is what this new moon in Capricorn yesterday was about for me, was just about, sort of putting some new things in motion. Putting them out, planting the seeds, putting them out there. And yeah, a lot of the times that frequency is there with that idea, with that spark. And then there's the whole gestation period. And, first there's like the fertilization period, then there's the gestation period, and then there's the birthing, which is not always the most easiest thing. There's always that sort of dark tunnel that you have to go through. And it can be a little painful, a little uncomfortable, a little tiring. And then at the end of it is just joy, bliss, love, all that stuff, if you think about the birthing process. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff that I'm coming up with. And I've learned it's, another hard lesson about having ideas, having sparks of inspiration, intuitive downloads, things like that, and blabbing them out there. And it's the part of me that does that is because I don't feel like I could be worthy enough of being able to have an idea and like have it be so awesome and, possible, because really everything is possible, especially if your heart is into it. Your heart believes that you can do it, then you can do it. And if you don't believe that you are worthy, if your heart's not in it, then these are the things they don't necessarily manifest into reality, into the physical, into the 3D. So yeah, so it's just sort of running things by people is it's nice to be able to do that, but as long as you do it in the right setting with the right people, and you got that one person that you can bounce anything off, and they'll be honest with you, say like you're loco, or you're like, hey, good for you, or this is a great idea, what about this, what about that, that's awesome. Not everybody has people like that in their life, but so a lot of the times you will put something forth, and what happens is, just out of conditioning and stuff like that, people will go and they go to a point of being like negative or saying like, no, that's not a good idea, based on their own fears, based on their own insecurities, based on their own worth in themselves and how they believe things are and things should be. It's hard to really, like, I found in my business that I'm doing, and my the healing process that I've been through, is I've been able to really like get into places of just holding space for people and just meeting them where they're at and really having no opinion. You know what I mean? Like having somebody be, for example, devastated from a loss of their loved one. And, like never making it about myself, and never saying, oh, yeah, or talking about my actual, how my loss affected me or whatever. It's just in that frequency of that knowing and being able to hold that and be like, you can say, I know, I understand, I have compassion, I have empathy, I feel you, without having to say anything, and to not be in judgment of like what a person's going through, or why, or when, or how, and what it looks like and stuff. And like a lot of the times what happens is it just kind of makes you, it usually, things like this will, somebody will say something to you, and it triggers something in you, some core wound in you that causes you to not really even think about what's happening, being present in that moment, holding space for that person to say how they feel or talk about what they want to talk about. And it's like, and I always remember, there's a person in my life that always asks, like, do you want any feedback on that? Like and you can say, the person can say, no, actually I don't. And it's like, fair enough. You know what I mean? And I know that what I've been having a lot of more intuition, and a lot of more kind of like I'm getting, when I'm doing work with people, I'm getting more intuitive and sort of like, I'm still kind of having, I'm trying to wrap my head around it because I'm moving into a different frequency. So I'm moving into a different level. And what's happening is I'm getting more signs and signals from my guides, and I'm getting more things that are like coming through that are like, I can ask questions about them to myself and say, okay, this picture comes up about something, and then I say, well, is this, should I be telling this person about this? And I ask a few more questions, and things come out, and I have strong feelings that, okay, yeah, okay, this needs to be mentioned or whatever. Yeah, but so at the end of a session, I can actually say, like, would you like any feedback, or would you like to know what came up for me, or do you have any questions? Did anything come up for you? Would you like to share your experience? Like, there's all these things that you can do without just like sort of, you know, puking it all out onto them, because sometimes that's not appropriate, right? Like, sometimes it's just people don't necessarily want to hear what you have to say, you know, and vice versa. So that's been kind of an interesting thing. So I've been doing that more often, and I've been doing a lot more tarot cards and oracle cards and card spreads and stuff like that. That's really been coming up, and I've always kind of done automatic writing in my own way, and now that's also been a big part of like what's coming up for me, and as far as like confirmation of what's happening, like, what does your soul want to tell you today, kind of thing. Working in journal prompts, and doing stuff that kind of like gets you in touch with that higher self. I mean, you always point up, but it could be here, it could be right here, it could be here, here. It's like you always point up, but yeah, so your higher self, anyway, connection with your higher self, which is where it's all, that's where the juice is anyway, and it's all happening up there anyway. So it's just about tapping in, and yeah, so that's kind of was a little tangent there that I just went on, but yeah, so that's what's happening. New moon Capricorn. Do you know what you want to put into reality? Do you know what you want to sort of dream up for your life for the next little while? A cycle is closing out and a new cycle is beginning. And, with the new year, of course, we've got January 1st, we've got all these, your New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. And that's awesome because it's a good time of year energy wise to be able to do that too, with like the astrology and stuff. But also too, it's like I was reading something and somebody was saying, well, actually the new year doesn't start until, the equinox in March, the spring equinox. So then that is true. Like, it's like we're still kind of in winter. And so a lot of the things, they're not necessarily, they might be harder to kind of like put things out, because we are still in that sort of rest and rejuvenate, recuperate, restorative, sort of energies of winter, the death and then the rebirth part of spring, which is you come into, at that time of year. So, but with these new energies, like with like yesterday, which was the new moon in Capricorn, well, there's like a time to like really set long-term goals for yourself and what you would like. I mean, there's a good chance like maybe you didn't start something in January 1st, but you've been thinking about doing something. Like, now would be a good time to do that too. These, the couple days before, a couple days after. And then we have a full moon in Leo, I think on the 25th. And then that's like, Leo is all about like your personality, like larger than life and putting it out there and, having fun. And, if you think of the Leo archetype, it's like loud and proud, you know. So, you know, maybe this is the kind of things that will come up for you now with the new moon in Capricorn, and then by the full moon in Leo there at the end of this month, you'll be able to like possibly start that initiation process of like taking what you've sown and sort of nurture it and get it to that point of that birthing part of the cycle. So yeah, I mean, definitely kind of exciting times. And you know, it like it has their moments, like everything, it has their moments. But did a reading yesterday, and I did do it didn't, like I said, it didn't pan out, but I ended up getting the poplar tree, which was number 18, and it just talks about adapting, kind of like adapting. And basically popular trees, this is the one that was kind of interesting. And the thing that's cool about these cards is that they just got all this imagery on them as well, which is very cool. So this is Bjork. And so adapting to relentless environmental stress, poplar trees wrap seeds in cotton casings and give these future wishes pre-wrapped and ready mapped to the wind to carry and spread fresh life. Their roots, safe from wildfires, are studded with buds, ready to erupt from below the soil and grow anew. Same roots, new home, new world. Begin again with certain vigor, knowing your future's assured. So that's the begin and poplar tree. Yeah, so I thought that was fitting, very fitting for the new moon in Capricorn, because we are heading into a new time, right? With the energies of Aquarius coming up, like we're coming up into that, leaving Capricorn and going into Aquarius, Pluto. So that's going to be a whole different energy. That's going from earth to air. So, you know, that just feels to me like that's what I was explaining the last time that happened. It felt like somebody took their foot off my chest. That being able to take a full breath, to be able to just like, you know, feel the life force energy just expand in your lungs. And it just was invigorating. So, you know, with this that I was just reading about, it was interesting about, you know, starting fresh, but doing it in a way where you're kind of like things are pre-packaged and wrapped up and taken with care and placed into the soil and then nurtured, you know, not just like you know, just like throwing the seeds to the wind. So that was for yesterday, but for today, I'm going to do a little card spread. So we'll just say that, you know, for today, this is the 12th of January. It's the day after the Capricorn, new moon in Capricorn. And we'll just ask, this is sort of my ancestor deck. So we'll just kind of ask the ancestors, what do we need to know for our highest good and the highest good of all? What do we need to hear for our highest good? And this is the Lifruma Healing Oracle. Oh, puppy. Okay. So this one is the Helm of Awe, the Wheel Shield, number 36. A Gish Yamur. There it is. So this is an interesting, beautiful card as well. Nice, like that symbolism, the symbol there. That is the Helm of Awe. Awe-inspired ancestral collective magic. a smokescreen to surround and shield us. Everyday fears are drawn back, dissipating as ancient mariners wrap us up and tuck us in. A still sea doesn't make a seasoned sailor. Therein is the danger and the addiction. Facing fears and the lone battles of a shamanic voyage strengthens you. The best shield is coasting in your own confidence. Lose your footing, and we all do. The best shield is coasting in your own confidence. Lose your footing, and we all do. A Gishlamur here is here to soothe you. A Gishyamur is here to soothe you. Cool. Helm of Awe, wheel shield, number 36. A Gishyamur. Yalmur. A Gishyalmur. Lady Norway, sure, right? You're thinking, yeah, sure. But yes. So that is the sort of overall, that's kind of like the overall, I would say, that a little bit of the energy of this reading. Ancestors. Yeah. A still sea doesn't make a seasoned sailor. Therein is the danger and the addiction. Facing fears and the lone battles of a shamanic voyage strengthens you. Everyday fears are drawn back. Awe-inspired ancestral collective magic. We're going to do the Sacred Traveler. Denise Lynn. Pull one of these. Oh, there we go. Protected by angels. That is a good one. You are cherished by the angels. Protected by angels. Yes, we are. Since we are, I'm going to use Kyle Gray, the Angel Oracle. You know what I realized? I was not talking into the mic. Okay, because I've got this mic now. So sorry if that's... Anyway, we'll get her figured out. Okay, so angels from the... This is the Angel Oracle. Let's take one card for this reading. Oh. Take a step back. Take a step back. And that probably has to do with what I was saying too about not necessarily throwing things out to the wind, but really sort of taking stock and looking at where you're at in your life and what you want, what you don't want, you know, kind of get that stuff figured out. And then I have this, this is the Witchy Tarot, or the Witchy Cauldron. And it's kind of like it's a learning tarot deck, but I was interested in it because it has it has all the chakras in it as well. So it's kind of got little things, you know, it's got little keywords, and then it's got like the reversals, and then it has the chakras, and then of course the planets. So I like that. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So anyway. Okay. Oh, So right off the hop, we've got the Death card. We've got Community, or the Four of Wands. We've got the Two of Wands. We've got the Eight of Wands. We've got the Three of Wands. And we've got the Queen of Wands. So that's from underneath. So let's see what we have for the reading. Okay, we've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Five of Pentacles. We've got the Emperor. We've got the Five of Swords. We've got the Hanged Man. We've got the Two of Cups. We've got the Five of Wands. Jeez, we've got all the fives, don't we, here? Do we? No. Oh. Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands, Five of Swords. So basically, Five of Cups. And then we have the Five of Cups. There it is. And we have the Empress. Okay, so what do we have happening here? So we've got the Death card. We've got Community, Choice. Vibrancy and Foresight. Yeah. So, you know, we've got these ability now from where we're at, you know, where we're at, the way that things are changing, the way that things are coming up with, there's a glare, the way that things are coming up with the change from Aquarius to, or from Capricorn to Aquarius, we have a choice, right? To be able to choose our people, like what we want, what we don't want, right? Go towards the things that we do want. You know, with the Two of Wands is, you know, just about being able to make a choice. You know, recognizing that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And yeah, the Four of Wands, I mean, that, go to your happy place. That's your happy place, you know. Find that soul tribe. This is what maybe 2024 will be about. Making a change on, you know, and a fast change. Like, you know, I think what will happen is when, you know, it's not always for everyone, but definitely, like, you know, the Queen of Wands being a very, you know, very good, very confident, very well looking, her sitting there, she's holding her own, and she's, you know, doing her thing, and obviously has the ability to see her future, and to you know, with this Eight of Wands cards coming out, being fast movement, you know, so it's definitely you know, for anybody that's, you know, obviously Capricorn being you know, talking about hard work, you know, this is definitely your hard work paying off. So that's kind of cool. I like that. And then we have the Six of Cups. But, you know, it's interesting the way that this is laid out here. Got protected by angels, take a step back, and, you know, we've definitely got some stuff here. Like if you look at the fives of all of them, I mean, they're just, it's got hardship, defeat, conflict, loss, you know? Um, Maybe these are all the things that were at one time, like if we need to have a different perspective, a different look on things, like, the optimism and the pessimism, like maybe it's time, if you are a pessimistic person, to kind of change that and make it where you feel a little bit more optimistic about what's happening. I mean, we're bombarded daily. I mean, if you're not, I mean, this is one of the reasons why, you know, a lot of people don't watch the news and a lot of people don't, tune into stuff because it is just so rough out there, But there's also all this lovely stuff that's happening too, and we've got to remember that. And you know, the Empress, it's connecting to the earth, reminds me that abundance is unlimited. So maybe when you start, if things aren't necessarily feeling great, or you're having trouble putting your seeds into the soil and planting them and nurturing them and birthing the things that you want, for yourself, that to just remember that sometimes you can get out and get some of that earth energy from walks in nature, animals, art, creativity. I mean, just healing itself, that nurturing energy of the Empress, like knowing that, she will look after you, you know, that knowing that abundance is unlimited. And this is a yes card. So, I mean, as much as, this is not looking great, not looking good, but I mean, this is the thing, like, you stand up for yourself. You stand up for yourself, right? You put down a boundary, whatever. And sometimes you've got some loss. You've got a little bit of, it would say here, it says unwelcome change. Well, sometimes people leave your life, or you vibrate out of the frequency, with certain people, certain things, certain jobs, certain friend groups, certain communities, certain relationships, you name it. But that, knowing that, if you continue down that road of healing, and also to the if it is a relationship that you're thinking about, like, just that's the other thing too, like, say things are not, the times are rough out there, right? And this is where partnership, you got to have a little bit of a, if you're struggling in your partnerships or your relationships or your one-on-one relationships, this is where, like, a change of perspective, and probably taking on the nostalgia is always, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And the Emperor, and that's where the Emperor would come in as just this healed masculine. We're talking now with the way that the world is and how things are changing and the new earth and all that stuff, and it's the blended divine, healed divine feminine and the healed divine masculine. And just how the Emperor just talks about our own power, and basically can have your autonomy, I think, in relationships, and your sovereignty also is a big part of it. And if you can bring that into your relationships. And it just says, I am my own authority. I have the will and the power to create my life structure. So building structures, this is Capricorn as well, right? Saturn is in there too. That's the ruler of Capricorn. It is about building a, and I feel like that's what I've been doing for the last little while. I mean, Chiron has been, my Chiron has been in Aries. My natal Chiron in Aries was, Chiron came back and transited in 2018. So it's what can be like 5, 6, 7 years or whatever it can stay in a sign. It depends. But yeah, I mean, it just went direct on the 26th of December. And, it is all about those core wounds and healing those core wounds and getting back to these childhood sort of experiences that might have caused, it basically, your childhood wounds create, basically it's part of your adult ego. And it's how your system sort of runs off that. And it sometimes, before you can kind of stop that program, you have to go back and look at these things that you don't necessarily want to look at, and heal them for good, and look at them, and then go back and do that inner child work and that inner healing and inner, even if it's not even so much, it could even just be, it could be inner child, but it also could be inner adolescent as well, or inner young adult. You know what I mean? Like, there's these things that happen to us, right? And I mean, obviously it goes back to going back to that inner child and being able to nurture it and parent it the way that it wasn't, and it wasn't like it was on purpose or whatever. And we know I'm a parent, and we make mistakes, and that's how we learn, right? We just learn by making mistakes. If we didn't make any mistakes, we wouldn't learn anything. So, but it's just to go back there and sort of reparent, to be able to say to that, instead of trying to quiet it down all the time. Like, when it is triggered and when it is brought up, when you do feel vulnerable, when you do feel anxious, when you do feel angry, when you do feel threatened or insecure, and that comes up, that's when, instead of saying, hey, shh, be quiet, little one, really dig in at that point and say, you know what, I got this, I got you. This is uncomfortable. Obviously, you're being triggered. I've got this. Don't worry. You're safe here. I've got you. Whereas back when some of those things are happening to your little inner child, or back to the little you, that didn't happen. So, it makes a big difference to be able to just kind of look at things and then recognize your why. Like, what do you need? What do you need at that moment? When you are feeling triggered, what do you need? Like, realize that it's important that your needs are met too. It's not always about everyone else's needs. It's not always about making everyone else happy. It's about you making sure that your needs are met too. And sometimes in situations, it's like, hey, this is not okay. I need this. I need to take a break. I need to have a walk. I need to remove myself from this. I don't want to have this conversation right now. I couldn't possibly give my time to this blank, fill in the blanks, because it just doesn't feel good. This is all good stuff. That's you saying no, and it's okay. It's, people don't want you to feel like bad about doing something for them, or if they ask you to do something and you say no, unless you've enabled them forever. And then that's a different story. That's for another video. But anyway, so that's sort of what I got from that. And let's just say one more little thingy here. We'll just ask what Archangel Michael has to say about it all. So yeah, it looked a little bit sketch with the old Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Five of Wands, and Five of Cups. But, the fives are about change, and I really believe that change is afoot. So, and it's about, you know, the hangman in there. I always think like letting go and, you know, letting go of those self-limiting beliefs. And that for me, that's what's, I feel what's coming up with the way the energies are and the change. So yeah, got the Emperor and the Empress here. So, you know, divine, healed, divine, masculine with the Two of Cups and then the Empress. So, and that's the healed. Whoops, hello. Whoa, that flew right out. And that's the divine, healed divine, feminine. And this one flew right out. It says, don't settle for less. You are a child of the divine and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. Yes. No problems. That's good. I like this. So there we go. That's a little day late, you know, new moon reading, new moon and Capricorn reading. Didn't really work out yesterday. Got some, you know, stuff that happened. But anyway, this is long, so keep an eye out on my website, ladynorwayenergyhealing.com. I got a couple new offerings on there, and I will be coming out with something else new and exciting after Pluto slips into Aquarius. And new moon blessings. I hope you manifest all the things that you are trying to put out into the world, and your dreams. Hope your dreams and wishes come true. Happy manifesting, all that jazz. Exciting times, good energy. Keep it high vibe. Let's keep it high vibe. Sending you lots of love and light. I will see you on the next one. Take care for now, and ciao.